Well, hi, good morning, and thanks so much for joining me in my shop. Today is, what is today? Today's November 17th, and day 2 on this radio. So yesterday I discovered, no surprise, the radio hums like crazy if you try to operate it. And that's almost certainly due to a defective power supply capacitor, that big guy there. So I'm going to install a couple of replacement capacitors. I'll do it underneath the chassis. I'll disconnect this one. It'll still sit here looking like it's looking original, and the new capacitors be hidden underneath, and they're quite small. And then after that, we'll try powering this radio up, and hopefully it's going to work, and we can assess it in more detail after that. Okay, so let's take a look at where those capacitors need to go. So yesterday I was looking at this capacitor here, and I determined that these are the two positive terminals here, and then the negative terminal is the shell of the capacitor. Well, the one I put in isn't like this at all, or the two that I'm going to put in. They're little guys, they're smaller than this thing. I have to ground them somewhere. So an option is right here. There's a ground terminal here, and there's one right down in here. Either one of those are going to do the trick. This one is grounded to the chassis via a nut and a screw. Usually not quite the best way to do it, because those things can work loose or just not make quite the contact you want. This is a soldered terminal, but it's screwed down with a nut over here, so they're all the same. Nothing's soldered to the chassis. The chassis is aluminum, so you can't solder anything to it. Okay, I'll put in those capacitors. When doing this kind of thing, augmenting this capacitor or replacing it, you have an option here. You can attach the new capacitors, here they are, to these terminals and just leave it like that, or you can remove these terminals from the capacitor, or you could remove the wires from the terminals and rewire it, and maybe put in a terminal strip and do all that kind of stuff. What I like to do is I like to nip these away and leave the wires on them. Now in this case there's only one wire here and two there. That's not very much, but in some of these radios there could be 3-4 wires piled on here, and they're all stiff. And if you start messing around too much, the small job becomes a really big job. Difficult job too. So my question to me is, I cut these guys ahead of time? And this is just a wire here, so there's really no need to maintain the terminal at all. There's only 2 wires there, but again they're too short to be stripped back and redone. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to nip this wire off and nip this terminal off of here. Let's see if I can get out of here. Not too hard to cut off. So there we go. Now I've got to strip this wire. See if I can get my stripping tool in there. Yep. Okay. The ground terminal here, that's this wire, is going to attach to here, and the other 2 are just going to come down and pick up these and this. Very good. Okay, but I have to move this camera. It's in the way. Okay, got the 2 capacitors installed here and soldered in. Good. Okay, well, I'm going to go have a little coffee, and then we're going to turn this guy on, and I bet you it's going to work. We'll see. Okay, let's find out if this guy's going to work. You may have noticed the box back here. This is the Magic Eye. I've just got it sitting back here, and I've just threw some tape around the terminals here because there's high voltage on them, and I can't keep a track of everything while I'm doing stuff. I don't want that to come into contact with something by surprise. So set is not plugged in or turned on. Okay, so just practicing here. On off, we're on the medium wave band. I have an antenna connected and switched on. So okay, I think we're ready here. Okay, we're going to fire it up through the dim bulbs because of course I just worked on the capacitors below here. Maybe I'll just swing you over this way in case there's some excitement there. I have a way of putting parts like that in backwards. It's a skill I've developed over the years. Okay, so we'll apply power, switch is off, nothing's happening. We're just going to check this. 112 volts. Seems a little low. Let's go a little higher. Well, just a little bit. 115, that's good enough. Okay. Now, keeping an eye on the lights and everything. Okay, the lights have behaved normally. Pretty quick, actually. Now, you might have heard my watch dinging just there. Magic eye is lit up. How do you like that? We heard a hum last time. Hearing nothing is very unnerving to me. What are we running this at now? 103 volts, so it's enough. It should be working. Just give it longer. It takes a long time to warm up when you restrict the voltage. Here it comes. Still getting louder. Don't control, not doing much.
See all the deals at visions.ca.
At Easy Financial, we know that sometimes it can be hard to navigate.
I can see the eye is actually operating properly.
When it comes to your finances. So
it's very dull now. In a dark room, I think you'd see it though.
Complaining and criticism, which is why we are in an ever-evolving state. And was that the right makeup? Absolutely not. But I don't think looking to the past to say, well, it was
On ramps closed off for maintenance. Fort Erie bound QEW, you won't be able to get to the highway from southbound Eastport. That ramp also.
QEW is a short name for a highway called the Queen Elizabeth Way. I used to live 1 mile from that highway.
And surprised you didn't mention us today, Notre Dame.
French station coming? Well, it's working fine. Let's change bands here. You cannot get the volume down to nothing now. Seemed like turning it on and off changed its operation a bit. Like it seems a lot fainter now. Okay, I'm looking for observations, so I may be, little tiny things. Maybe that don't matter. So, okay, let's go on. Did I say FM? There's no FM, Jim. We'll go on shortwave band 3. Okay, shortwave band 3. I have to look at the cabinet here. What did I do with the cabinet? Oh, for crying out loud, it's right in front of me. I can't look at the cabinet. So, band 3. I have to look at it. Okay, so band 3 is 3 to 9 megahertz, and then band 2 is 9 to 14. Band 1. So band 1 is the high band. It's very confusing how they've laid it out, because the highest band has the Anyway, not to worry about it. Don't ground, please. Don't ground out. Yeah, so I'm running the antenna with just the center wire connected. So if we're on band 3, I forgot already. just go looking. Okay, that was band 3. Let's go right down to the other end. And a lot of knob rotating here, which makes tuning very good. Still need to be very precise with the tuning, even though it's a slow knob. This is a time signal, probably from Canada. Barely hear them. No, you know what? That's not CHU. That's WWV. Now I'm going to try grounding my antenna here. We'll see what happens. Much better. Okay, so we're going to connect it more permanently here. Ooh, that's a lot better. That's a lot better. Okay. So what frequency are we on here? I'm not sure. But it's working. That's all we need to know right now, I think. Probably that was 15. I would have to guess.
Under tetragram 10. It says the rattles forbade the utterance of the tetragrammaton to guard against desecration of the
tetragrammaton, did he say? I'm still operating this with the dim bulbs going. So it's still on low voltage here. 94 volts. It's way low. We better give it the right voltage here. Turn this down a bit. Here we go. Much more volume now.
So good question. Good question. So first point, Antiochus says.
Don't hear any difference with the tone control.
The Hasmonean families, they take over Jerusalem back for Yahweh, and they say we're going to start saying, and we're even going to use it in our league.
Okay, we'll go on to the next band. Something right there, just can't quite get to it. Ham radio. So this receiver is not designed to receive this type of transmission. This is called a single sideband transmission, and you can tell someone's talking, but it just sounds like you can never figure out what they're saying really. So the radio is hooked up to a very good outdoor antenna. It's called a mini whip antenna.
Because many, I tell you, be able to.
Every Thursday at 7:45 a.m. Central on 15.825 megahertz. Worldwide
Okay.
Christian Radio, WWCR, Nashville, Tennessee, USA.
15825. Still can't tell any difference with the tone. Lovely sound though.
这场比赛虽然国中队确实不错，但是我们也注意到了一些不足之处比较明显，比如
You hear how swooshy that sounds?
角球的失分就是一个弱点，对吧？我们在防守这个像澳大利亚这种身材比较高大。
Along with it being a foreign language, it also has a swooshy kind of sound to it, like the sound is swirling a bit.
出人还是怎么着，对他们做的并不是很够。因为在
If you've ever been camping and had a big campfire, and you're sitting around the campfire, and you might be sitting opposite somebody, so the fire's here and you're sitting here and somebody's over there, and you can talk to them through the flames. If you project your voice, if you try to talk to them through the flames, what they hear over here is your voice is coming from all over the place like this, and it has the same swooshy sort of sound that this has. I don't know if you've ever tried it. Next time you're camping and you have a fire going and you happen to be sitting opposite somebody, give it a try. The swooshy sounds may indicate that signal was coming over the pole, the Earth pole, North Pole or something like that. I'm not sure. So we just mentioned Cuba, and almost certainly this is Radio Marti, the American government station, providing entertainment and news to Cuba on the American taxpayer dollar. And I suspect a lot of Cuban expatriates in Florida are listening on shortwave. Yeah, really, shortwave. Shortwave still possesses the ability to get into people's homes without a government controlling it, like right here. Any country can get any signal to my home, and I can tune it in and listen to it. I mean, my government can't stop that. They can stop the internet. They can't, Radio Free Europe. Remember that? The Iron Curtain, all that stuff. So this is Brother Stare. You hear this guy almost always on some station. This guy, I don't know, is it all recorded? Is he dead? Maybe he's even dead. I don't know. Or not. I don't know. So this is teletype. And similar to that ham radio stuff, you really can't hear it right. With this kind of radio, just can't reproduce the sound quite right. That's what that is. Yeah, teletype. Yeah, that's right. Still using teletype. In the same way, a country can send out a teletype signal. It can be encoded with some code, unbreakable code. They can fire it out into the world, and their agents can be anywhere in the world and receive it. So there still is a spy side to shortwave radio. I'm sure it's not going to go away, because as soon as you put it in a wire, hey, somebody can tap that wire. Of course, I guess if it's coded stuff, encoded. You may have heard of the numbers stations, which we're not likely to come across one here, but
We're seeing this happening.
I've certainly been hearing number stations my entire life.
Because I told him, I said, make sure you always cherish this apple tree planted by my grandfather.
I still remember the first time I heard a number station, I had no idea what I was hearing. Maybe more than the first few times, because they were fairly common when I was a kid. Any decent listening session, you probably come across one. Spy station. Okay, well, this band's working. And band 1. What was band 1? Anybody remember? Okay, so we're at the end. Coming back.
didn't have manufacturing, and they were trying to get manufacturing to move down there in Mexico. So anything that was manufactured somewhere else, the import tax on it was exactly what it cost. So if you came over here in the United States, you bought a Christmas tree and you carried it back across the border, you paid $3 for the tree, you're going to have to pay the federales $3. And so the federales take all that money and they chop it up between them. And
Okay, so a lesson in economics there. Here we are. This is WWV here. Much stronger. So WWV broadcasts at 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25 megahertz. I'm going to find out where we are here. Where are we? We're way up at the end. 36 minutes. Come on, clock. Okay, my clock's not exactly on the money. Oh well. It's going to go to 36 though. Not exactly. What frequency? We must be on 15. We must be on 15 here. 15 would be strong at this time of day also. So I'm taking a look. Band number 3 at the very top. No, band number 1. Starts at 15 here and goes up. So that's interesting. We should be able to pick up some more strong stations here. Let's give it a try. So we're at 15. Oop. We're not at the end yet. This goes way out to here. That's going down in frequency, right? The radio's backwards from our North American sensibility. So now we're going up in frequency. What happened to WWV? So what was this station? Below 15. I don't know what that is.
Because you have spiritual power within you. You awaken that God power within you through the Guanyin meditation power, which is imparted to you by God power alone, by God Himself, through the Master, who is powerful.
came to his own, the Jews, the ones that's supposed to be expecting him. God told them the very year he'd show up. We studied that last week.
Spokesman for God. Spokesman for the creator of the universe. I don't know, would you want to be a spokesman for a God? Never mind God, listen to me. I don't think I'd take the job myself. Now, that's a weird thing. Could be some kind of atmospheric research signal. Who knows what that was? Some guy in a shop left his equipment on by accident. The other day I left my ham radio on. I left my shack, if I can call it that, but I left the Vox on, the voice actuated part of it. I left. When I came back, I'm not exactly sure what had happened now because I panicked. I walked in, the transmitter was transmitting a bunch of garble, like feedback or something like that, and I just panicked. I go, oh my gosh, this thing's been broadcasting. It was right on one of the key FT8 frequencies. Oh, shame on me. I panicked. You know, all you got to do is, and it's off, right? But I panicked. I was clicking on this and pushing that. And, yeah, panic. Not good. Don't panic. No panic. So this sound. So I've heard this kind of thing my entire life. Or stuff very similar to that. And I was a little kid, whoops, in a cottage with a shortwave radio, and I'm listening to it, and I'm hearing this kind of sound. There's a roaring sound, and one of the adults came by and said, "You know what you're listening to?" No, you're listening to the ship engines out on the sea. What? What do you mean? I'm in Ontario here, in the middle of North America, not near any seas. Well, Great Lakes, I guess, but ship engines? You know what? I knew enough to not buy that story. But he didn't. There we go. So you might be surprised to learn that even now, airplanes flying over the Atlantic Ocean communicate with shortwave radio, the same stuff we were just fooling around with. If we had the right radio, we could probably pick some of it up. And maybe not the airplanes themselves, but we can pick up the ground stations at Gander in New York. And they have a number of frequencies they use through the shortwave band, depending upon time of day and conditions. They publicize this information, and the airplanes flying over the Atlantic Ocean have shortwave receivers and transmitters in them, and that's how they communicate. And it is rough. It is not easy. It's often the communication is difficult. They have to repeat things back and forth. It's quite something to and you can listen to this stuff. It's on sideband, so this radio couldn't do it, but there is stuff to listen to on shortwave for sure. Well, this has me in a quandary here. This radio is working really quite well. Who am I to start fiddling around with it? We already saw a lot of the adjustments here are painted in place. What do I think I would gain from doing any more to this radio? There still is a bit of a hum coming out of this, coming out of somewhere, but it's not, it's not enough to worry about. And to some degree, a nice warm hum kind of goes with the tube radio thing a little bit. So I got to stop and ponder. But I mean, can I make this better? I think the most I can do is make it worse. Yeah, I'll stop and give it a little bit of thought here. I should turn this off first, though. Good. Yeah, now you can tell the hum was there, right? That's okay, I think. Well, what could I do to get rid of that hum? So I had quite a time putting 4 screws in to hold the cabinet down, because I had removed the cabinet incorrectly. I should have left some brackets inside the cabinet. Instead, I unscrewed the brackets. They came out with the chassis, and putting that back together just about got me in tears at one point. So anyway, on the antenna here, it says maximum sensitivity, maximum selectivity, Earth. And there's 3 terminals in here. The top one is the one you can see a screw head sticking out of, maximum sensitivity. The one in the middle, maximum selectivity, and the bottom one is for earthing, as they would say on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean. We say ground here, but ground is so vague and confusing. I like the term earth. There's no question what they're talking about there. You don't need to make this connection, although you could if you wanted to, and you might get improved reception. Now, I was using a outdoor antenna with an amplifier built into it, and so the signal's coming down both wires. And you saw when I had one wire hooked up, the radio only worked so good, and when I put the second wire onto the chassis, then things started working much better. So what I put together here is some wire. It's just looped around to make it convenient, so it's to be stretched out. And I have a clip on the end. You clip it on the antenna. There you go. Good luck, because I don't think its performance will compare to what was happening here in the shop. Because I just have such a good antenna. Okay, we're going to flip this guy around. I'm going to give him one more shot. Make sure everything's working, and that'll be it for this guy. It looks nice, all cleaned up. A little bit cleaned up. Okay, let's give the camera a try. The camera. How about the radio? We're looking through the camera. Okay. Now let me plug it in here. Okay. So oddly enough, you can only put these knobs on one way. And sorry you can't see this. Let me just try this. Yeah, I can't light this properly, so you can't see the details on the knobs, but this knob would be better if it were 180 degrees around. It would say volume and then it would say on off, but in fact it can only go on the way it went on. It looks like it's upside down, but it can't go on some other way. So that's kind of weird. Here we go. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, this is the volume too. Here we go. So I think I heard a big pop come out of the speakers in my shop just now when I turned it on. So you may have heard some kind of weird pop on the video. I don't know. The lighting is really quite good here. Let me pull my big light off. Dull these ones down a little bit there. Give you some idea how well lit this is. It's beautiful. Look at the magic eye. It's really come up. Excellent. Let's see if it works. Now this is running on 115 volts. Still takes quite a bit of time to warm up. Very cool looking on the camera. Pretty cool looking with my eyes too. Okay, so where are we here? We're on the medium wave band. Come on in for a closer look. Now there is some interference coming from the light in my laundry room right next door where the cats are playing, and they keep turning on the automatic light and it makes a lot of interference. So some of that might be from that light. Okay. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so the light just came on. Oh, this is too easy to turn off. So we're going to look here. Here's the pointer. This is the medium wave band. And here we go. Now this is reverse. So the things here in North America we would expect down here are up here. It's a reverse, because they're showing meters here, wavelength instead of frequency. So these are all pretty hard to pick up. So we're doing this during the day. Whoops, gotta stop doing that. Can't turn it down any lower. So we're doing this during the day, and all I'm going to get on the AM is local stations within a couple 100 miles or so. There we go.
Maybe some sugar plums. No idea what that is.
So unfortunately, you can't read this and know what frequency you're on in North America. So.
Hey, got your headphones on? I'm out here jogging, and just let's talk urine leakage. You know, tenement, the protective underwear is made for us, secure and discreet. Protection.
Good station, Jim. Watch the magic eye.
No more dribble drop. Discreet protection designed for men. And hey, if I can run with it, you got it.
So we people, filled with the Spirit of God, who exhibit habits of what it is. Bishop is Lake City, Mississauga. So
Mississauga, that's a city near Toronto.
That the Chiefs get their first loss this season means the Bills are closer to clinching the AFC. What are we looking for?
Toujours reconnaître la voix d'Elvis parce qu'il y avait cette vibration-là qui était capable d'aller chercher l'auditoire.
Our friendship's different.
Well, I think friendships are a little bit different and perhaps important in ways.
It is designed to break up blockages and repair blood.
Break those blockages. Okay. Can't leave it there. There's no question it's working good on broadcast. So now we're going to go to shortwave number 3, I think. Yeah. So we're on 3. Here's the pointer over here. So this is like 3.5 megahertz. There's nothing down here. But maybe up around here. 5 megahertz. 6 megahertz. That's 6. 7. Here. Anybody home? Maybe up at 9. At this time of day, the lower frequencies don't work as well. Well, we didn't get anybody. A little surprised. Pointer's gone way up in here now. A little odd. Okay, let's go for next band. That's band number 2. This is from 9 to 14. So it's basically here to 9, 9 to 14, 14 to 21, something like that's happening. Magic Eye is really doing the job here.
Yep.
Where they good. See, you gotta look. You gotta look and say, put these two together.
I got it.
Where am I going?
It's okay, Byron. It's your first time doing this.
Say it again.
What should not be opened in the house, or else bad luck will rain down on you?
What?
In an else house?
What should not be opened in the house, or else
what?
Bad luck will rain down on you.
What do you open? Open your mouth.
I have no presents. I don't know.
The rain down on you was a clue. An umbrella is the answer.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Moving on now. Didn't know that.
And I'm so grateful for that helped me through.
Lots of stations in here.
By the way, which is a weird stretch. You got the Chiefs, the bye week, then the Niners, the Rams, and the
Ben non, parce qu'ils disent ça, hey, ça c'est du peu élevé, ça c'est ce que le public...
Oh, you know what I've done? I've turned this knob around. I'm listening to it thinking, wow, these all sound like local AM stations. Duh. Okay, now we're on the right band. Hey, that's all fun. Okay, so now we're around. We'll go down first. What was that? What was that big pop? Magic Eye is working. So the pop may have been me going past the station rapidly. Yeah, my cats want to come out of the laundry room. I close the door on them.
Maketh it waste. That's down. And scattereth
A little bit of play in the tuning here, but it's not bad.
shall reel to and fro like a drunkard.
So this is 9.33, and you can see it's very close to 9.3. It's very good. There's that pop again. I don't know what that was. Where'd all those stations go? Oh, that's right there on the AM band. It's quite a distinct hum in this radio. When it's quiet, you can certainly hear it. If you're listening to a program and step away from the radio, you won't hear it. That could be coming from one of the tubes themselves.
That
I think as the as this brightness changes, my camera's changing the colors of this down here, I think, or my hand. Maybe it's my hand. The camera's doing stuff. We're in a ham band here. Where's that pointer? The pointer is disappearing behind here again. But ham radio, boy, they're just going at it. Way up on a high frequency, well above 21, so it's probably 24 megahertz band. Yes, ham radio, going wild. Okay, I think we've hit the end of the road here for testing this. And there's the long wave band. We might as well run through it once. I don't know how that works. Pretty easy to hit the strong stations. Well, let's try long wave. We'll see what we get there. I would imagine a lot of noise. Wow, it's very weak. I'm gonna get anything here. Not a thing. Not that it matters. Okay, last thing we can do with this radio is take a close look at the dial, because look at all these cities on here. It's just like Minsk, Lati, Luxembourg with a shortened Luxembourg, Kiev. It's not spelled like that, is it? Brasov, never heard of that. Ankara. Some of these cities may have new names now. Here's Vatican City. You know, Vatican City. The Vatican still broadcasts on shortwave. You can still pick it up. Monte Carlo, Turin. I mean, was it really like this? That you could really pick these cities up at these locations? I don't know. Certainly can't any time during my life, so I really don't know. BBC Lille, or Lille, I don't know how to pronounce that. Dublin. Hey, Northern Ireland. Zagreb. Huh. Lahore. Rabat. Mysore. Rangoon, Tangier, London, Moscow, Paris, Rome, Calcutta, Salonika. I think that's probably in Greece, eh? Kiev, Baghdad, Hilversum, Holland, Madrid, Athens, Damascus, Limoges, Istanbul, Belgrade, Jerusalem, Naples, Kharkov. Now, is that the same thing as Kharkiv that we hear about with the war that's going on in Ukraine? J. Berg. Don't know what that is. Viagra. No, Vigra. Never heard of that. Brussels, Sarajevo, Lyon, Sundsvall, is that South Africa? Vienna, Stuttgart, Athlone, Cape Town. Huh. And then all across here, the same sort of cities showing up again. Belize, El Marquis, whatever that is. Jayberg again. Omdurman. Mauritius, Pakistan. Pakistan's a country, not a city. Leoville. Some guy named Leo has a town. Lima, BBC, USA. The whole USA right here. Get the whole thing at once. Canada. We're on there. But just Canada. Yeah, Canada had a great shortwave. Canada has a public broadcaster, and it had a shortwave service, and it was really well appreciated in the world. And then we had a government that, of course, didn't appreciate it, and that was the end of that. I gotta let the cats out here because they are, or the cat. Come on, you guys. Out. Everybody out. Right out. No, don't start there. Get one, guys, out. That's one. One out. One out. Right here. Oh, the other guy's gone ahead. He's down there. Yeah, pretty snowy image on my camera. Which, oh, we're crying out loud. Cat, come on. Get out of here. Come on. Come on. Oh, jeez. Come on, cat. I gotta get him out of here. Troublemaker. There we go. Okay. Okay. Cat thing is over. We're almost done we're just hitting Canada here. Canada, that would be Buenos Aires. Schwarzburg. I don't know what that is. Schwartz with an BG after it. Brazzaville, Colombo, Australia, Paris, Rome. I got cities and countries mixed up here. Delhi, Rabat, Tehran. So, guess what? All these cities had transmitters. All these countries had transmitters. When I was a kid, shortwave was that was the internet of the day. One-way internet. Okay. So I did notice the volume go up and down a little bit occasionally while it's operating. Probably a loose tube type thing. I don't really know. But it never quit or did anything like that, so I'm not going to sweat over that situation. I think it's great. It's a great looking radio. The Magic Eye works. Put a decent enough antenna on it, you're going to have this kind of experience with it. And lots of fun reading all the city names and country names and that. Fantastic. Well, thanks a lot for watching. This guy's on his way back home. It would be foolish for me to get in there and start changing all those capacitors. That's a fool's mission, because there's risks involved. So, very good. There he goes. Okay. What's next? I have a good idea of what's next. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you probably tomorrow.